Okay, back at it. I'm gonna cut the ground wire just a little bit smaller. And these cutters, this will cut and strip. Okay, I'm gonna put a little curly cue in this because it needs to wrap around the ground screw. And there's little holes here, so I take it, let it stick out a little bit, and bend up. Okay. And now, I like to do the ground wire first, just to get it out of the way. I put it in there the same direction that the screw is going to be tightened. And I've got just a little curly cue long enough so I can grab it and pinch it together. Okay. And tighten it up. I'm right-handed, so I can flip this around. See, I'm on the wrong side right now, but then I just take it and flip it up like that. Okay? And so now I'm going to put these into the back of this. So I've got to strip these wires. And I'll make it about 3/8 or so. I try to do it not so far that the copper is going to show on the back of the electrical outlet. You know, after I push it in. Now I don't do this every day, so I'm trying to do it as best I can on thinking how far should I strip that. Okay, that looks about right. I got about 3/8 coming in there. So now I got the two holes in the back for the white side, and so I've got this one's going to be for the bottom. I'm just going to plug it in. Top one, plug it in. Got my bottom black wire, plug it in. Top one, plug it in. Oh! Almost screwed up on that one. Okay, like that. I was pushing it fast and this wire is so thin it almost bent. Okay, I got them all in there. Okay, now I've got to push it in. What I like to do before I do that, I like to try to get these screws out of here, and so I can push it in tight without these screws being in the way. But you know what? I'll try it. I'll just put the screw on the side and push it in all the way. I try to get it down here, lift it up, and then take it right in here and try to bend it again. So I'm making kind of like an S. Okay? Like an S. Oh, I can push it in. So I'm going to keep it off the side so I can make sure this screw's not in my way. I don't want to just put it to the screw there and think I can shove it in there. So I want to make sure nothing is in my way behind there, right? Because these screws are only going into a little plastic box. And I look at it, make sure it's not tweaked to the right or to the left, and it looks fine. So when I put my cover plate on, I don't have part of the plug cattywampus in there. And I just screw it in. Some people take their battery operated drill and put in there. But if you hit something or if you over screw it, you're just screwing it into plastic threads. And remember, this is that old box I had saved. I took this one out of the wall straight up above where I fished the hot wire down. And I was going to throw the box away, and I thought, hey, I can just reuse it down here. Oh, just gonna look at it and line it up where I think it needs to go. That takes a little doing, because see, I'm screwing it all the way in. No, that's about right. If there was sheetrock on the wall, if this box, usually the boxes stick in from the sheetrock just barely, so I wouldn't have to put the screw in all the way. Okay, look at that. We're getting close here. And I made a video series. I'm making a video series of this entire project, so if you've missed anything, you want to see from the start how I got the hot wire from up above and brought it down here. I've got all those on my channel, of course. Boy, the tricky part is to get the screw out of the little plastic bag, huh? Without dropping it, jeez. Well, they have to do that because they used to not do that, and sometimes if the outside of the plastic bag had a rip, then the cover plate, the screw might have come out at the store. I've done that before. You get home and get ready to use it, and son of a gun, it's missing the screw. Okay, there we go. I hope you learned something on that. That's all ready, and you know, there's no power to it yet. I haven't turned the power on, and of course I would never have you work on an electrical outlet without taking the power, without having the power off first. You see, that wasn't too hard, was it? Now, any other electrical outlet that I have that's got 3 wires in it, I can do it the exact same way. If I've got an electrical outlet that only has 2 wires coming in, then I would only have to have 1 pigtail or a connection with those little crimpers. And I think you saw those. See, here's my crimpers. See, I would just have to crimp and put 1 ground wire on there, and I didn't have to make any pigtails for the ground, did I? And if you only had 2 wires, 2 white wires coming out of there, just hook it up, just like I did. 2 to the back side of the electrical outlet, 2 blacks on there. If I had 4 wires going into the box, instead of putting a wire nut on 2 wires, I would have put a wire nut on 3 of the wires. And then I'd have to put a red wire nut in there, and then I'd have to get it in there. There's still enough room in the box. I could have put some red wire nuts in there. Had I done that on this one, I would only had 1 white wire coming out and 1 black wire coming out. You see what I'm saying? I could do it that way. But for the sake of argument, I wanted to fit it in there this way. This 14 gauge wire is easy to work with. That way I could just use the yellow wire nuts instead of the red wire nuts and have a little bit of extra room. Well, that's all I got for this time, but I'll be back with more videos. Well, if you've been with me, and hopefully you have, you saw how I easily installed this electrical outlet. Now, after I turn the breaker back on, I'll have power here, and I'll also have the junction box. Remember, I've got a wire from there that goes over to the couch, the electrified couch unit, the sectional, and then I've got another wire from here that goes over that's going to feed another electrical outlet and a light switch on the other side of the wall, and that light switch is going to control some lights. And so what is this video about, Joe? Well, next things. I'm in this area and I can pick and choose however I want to do it. If you've been watching me, I put these lights in And I'm gonna have 3 lights in here. 1 light there, 1 on the other side of this wall, 1 on the other side of this wall, that are controlled by a light switch that I still have to put in. You're in luck. You can watch that video too, where I'll put a light switch in and an electrical outlet that will turn these 3 lights on. Okay, but for right now, this particular video, I'm gonna install the little light fixture for this one, and show you how to do that. Okay, well, if you want to watch, that's what this video is all about.